are free to go to the polls, but in fact, more than half the electoral commissions have been dissolved.
The people who live in the east and in Crimea and have no possibility to vote for whatever reason were given the opportunity to apply to the electoral authorities to change their place of voting.
While relations between Moscow and Kiev continue deteriorating, Vladimir Putin says Russia will respect the Ukrainians' choice, or at least that's what he was saying until Saturday, when he adopted a harsher tone.
I won't hide that we are seriously worried about the statements of certain Ukrainian radicals, their direct threats to interfere with our gas transit to Europe. We hope that common sense will prevail and that will not happen.
The threat of cutting gas supplies is constantly on Vladimir Putin's agenda. He never stops reminding Europe to what point it depends on Moscow for energy and showing his eagerness to bypass Ukraine to export its gas.
Ultra-nationalist politicians in Europe have expressed worry about the increasing number of African migrants immigrating to Europe. It was heavily rather further in several campaign rallies as the European Parliament election heats up. We have details in this report by CFI.
The two land borders between Europe and Africa that are hotspots of illegal immigration. Despite massive security measures, attempts to cross the 3 rows of fence that separate Morocco from the European fortress have not stopped. The authorities in Madrid believe that some 40,000 African would-be immigrants are waiting in northern Morocco to get a chance to cross into one of the 2 Spanish enclaves here. Some of them try to survive on the hills around Melilla as they wait for an opportunity to get into Europe.
Some days we don't have anything to eat. Some days we have accidents and hurt ourselves. All Africans are hurt and chased by Moroccan police.
Italian coasts too are exposed to the same phenomenon that's spreading in the Mediterranean. And it's on the rise due to the crises in Syria as well as in Sudan, Somalia and Eritrea. Countries which are unable to meet the basic needs of their people who are looking for a way out of their misery.
Our work increases every year. The influx of refugees on the coast of Sicily is swelling rapidly.
Immigration is a major theme in the election campaigns for the European Parliament. The vote is taking place this weekend in the 28 countries of the European Union. The polls show that across Europe, ultra-nationalist parties are getting more and more popular. The National Front in France wants to restore the national borders and ban the regularization of illegal immigrants. When you have 5 million unemployed people in a country, you don't allow yourself to give jobs to 500,000 foreigners. Even the traditional right wants to reform political asylum laws and reinforce controls on Europe's borders.
And before we take leave of you, a quick reminder of the day's top stories. The Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has joined well-wishers to wish President Jammeh happy 49th birthday. The Kanifing Municipality and Banjul City Council have been celebrating President Jammeh's 49th birthday and used the historic event to highlight the Gambian leader's record-breaking achievements. A quartet of African First Ladies have arrived in the country ahead of the Women Advancement African Forum to be hosted by the First Lady, Madam Zainab Yahya Jammeh. The Vice President, Her Excellency Ajah Dr. Aissatou Njie Seydi, who represented President Jammeh at the inauguration of South Africa's President Jacob Zuma, has stressed the need for Africa to take ownership of its resources. Perspectives from light-minded personalities, JRTS have been talking to people about the significance of May 25th as the continent celebrates Africa liberation, and reports of a staggering 40,000 irregular immigrants from Africa stranded in Morocco is worrying European ultra-nationalists. Well, that was all in this edition of the News at 10. Thanks for the pleasure of your company. Do stay tuned and enjoy a range of interesting programs.
The best in town has the latest fashion wear for ladies. Kanilai Group International Fashion Shop, or KGI Fashion Shop, brings you latest abayas from the Republic of Indonesia, the home of good textile and fashion. Our range of collection includes ladies' fashion, shoes and menswear. Walk now into KGI Fashion Shop along the Kerava Avenue, just adjacent to the traffic lights junction, and get quality abayas in retail or wholesale at unbeatable prices. For more information, call 4398-313 or 776-6429 or 996-5776. KGI Fashion Shop.
Bonsoir chers amis téléspectateurs, les résumés de l'actualité nationale et internationale de la semaine dans votre magazine hebdomadaire 7 sur 7. Votre ami Adja Mariam Ndiaye pour vous le présenter. Dans votre magazine hebdomadaire 7 sur 7, nous allons commencer par l'actualité nationale. Lors de la conférence des États membres de l'ECOWAS, Daouda Konaté, le président du comité directeur des États membres des pays de la CEDEAO, a fait son discours. Voici les images.
Les services météorologiques occupent une place de plus en plus importante pour le développement économique durable de tout pays. Mais les États africains éprouvent des difficultés pour faire face aux conditions climatiques. C'est ce qui a motivé la tenue de la 11e réunion du comité des directeurs des services nationaux de météo et d'hydrologie des pays membres de la CEDEAO. Cette rencontre vise entre autres à améliorer les prestations de services dans ce domaine et de montrer le potentiel des experts nationaux en matière de météorologie et d'hydrologie. Les États de la sous-région éprouvent des difficultés à relever les défis climatiques tels la sécheresse et la désertification, et la CEDEAO s'est armée de beaucoup de courage pour les juguler.
L'Association des étudiants de droit de l'Institut de formation JTTI a tenu son 3e symposium annuel sous le thème « Rôle de la police dans l'application de la loi ». Cette activité qui visait à encourager une compréhension mutuelle et une intégration entre les étudiants de droit de JTTI et d'autres structures associées au droit a vu la participation d'étudiants de droit issus de diverses institutions du pays. Lors de ce symposium, des magistrats, avocats et policiers ont tour à tour pris la parole pour partager leurs réflexions sur le thème.
L'Agence turque de coopération internationale TICA, par le biais de l'ambassade de Turquie en Gambie, a offert des équipements numériques à l'Assemblée nationale. De montant de 400 000 €, ces équipements comprennent du matériel de diffusion virtuelle et télévisuelle, des caméras numériques et de surveillance, du matériel d'interprétariat simultané et de montage, entre autres. Dans ses remarques au cours de la cérémonie de remise de ce lot, l'ambassadeur de Turquie en Gambie a souligné l'excellence des relations entre son pays et la Gambie. Son Excellence Ergin Sona a assuré l'engagement de son pays de les renforcer davantage. Pour sa part, la vice-présidente de l'Assemblée nationale, honorable Fatou Mbaye, a dit ses remerciements à la partie turque pour ce geste qui permettra à l'hémicycle gambien de mener ses travaux dans des conditions optimales.
Le projet de soutien à la pêche, plus connu sous le nom de Banafa, a finalement remis 2 installations sanitaires et d'hygiène aux communautés de Tandjé et Sagna. Ces installations ont pour objectif d'améliorer la santé et les conditions de vie de la population et de l'environnement des sites